What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Civilization 5 with the community AI-only battle. It's getting very, very tense. We've now got Texas at war with the Aztecs, which is going to be very big in North America. Finally, Texas doing something. South America, still pretty quiet, although I think Brazil is obviously having limited success at getting some of the Moors cities in the Caribbean. They've taken one so far. Don't think they'll be able to get any more. Over in Africa, I think it's all peaceful right now, which is incredible, and that is a big discovery. Samoa are the first to complete the Manhattan Project. How about that? It's a surprise. Normally we don't actually get to see nukes. It's very sad. Well, sad. I mean, it's kind of a good thing, but, you know, in-game, we never get to see many nukes in these AI-only battles. I mean, we hardly ever see them used, but there you go. The first Manhattan Project with time to spare, which means we may actually see them in use as well coming up soon. In Europe, the Moors and Belgium are still... No, they peaced out, didn't they, at the end of that last video. But Ethiopia now at war with Belgium, as is the Soviet Union. So it could still be a bad time for Belgium. The Huns have made progress, of course, conquering the Middle East. Doing pretty well, but I don't think they're going to go any further just yet. Although they are at war with Babylon, but they don't have any melee units here, apart from this Great War Infantry. So they've got to do a bit more work, but they have a ton of planes, so... Very soon, I imagine they will be in a much more dominant position as they destroy these last few units. Not too much wars going on out here either, so as I remember from the last episode. It's all pretty quiet in Oceania. Just regular planes for Samoa, Vietnam, Korea. Yeah, they're all just taking a bit of a break. I think Vietnam and Japan are still at war, but there's no real sieging going on yet. Shoshone is still clinging on for dear life, and well, Florida is going to be the first Aztec city to fall to Texas, who are doing pretty well to be invading. They have multiple borders. They have this one in North America, they have this sort of Mexico-y one, and then they also have the one in the Yucatan Peninsula. They have plenty of planes out here, Texas, which will be doing some damage. They've got to be careful though, this city is exposed. Maybe the Aztecs might be able to at least pick it up as a return for what they lose. That would be interesting. Texas, yeah, there are more planes here, and obviously the one thing I do need to watch out for Polynesia. They might take Dallas if a war was to break out. Not sure they could take much more than that, but there's definitely an opportunity there for them. Let's see, Vandals, Mali, how are you doing, Mali? How are you doing? You've got a load of planes, and you do have a lot of units, to be fair. Just nothing really being done. Nigeria, a bit less units by the look of it, but that may just be the less archaeologists sort of really showing up right now. So how is... I'm really interested in Burundi, because I think they're going to be like a really surprise contender for the victory. I really think they could pull it off. If anyone's going to contest Vietnam, it might be them. I think obviously Ethiopia as well and Texas are both pretty strong too and could do it, but yeah, I got a feeling Burundi's going to be doing a lot better than we maybe think or are giving them credit for, because I mean Ethiopia could have gone to war with them for a very long time. I mean the same could be said of Nigeria, but still Ethiopia has chosen not to. So there's got to be a reason for that, or they would have gone to war by now. The Incans, I think the Incans are in some sort of war. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe with someone who's not quite next to them, but someone who's maybe a bit random. I don't know. Maybe not. Doesn't look like it. So the Moors have peaced out with Australia. That is a vital peace deal for the Moors there, getting, you know, out of that one. Sure, they were in so much threat from Australia. To be fair, Australia are pretty safe right now. I don't see anyone... India, are you trying to invade Australia? I don't think they are. I think they're doing something else. I don't know what they're doing, but they're over here. Samoa have plenty of units, especially on this island. And oh, yep, there we go. Texas take Florida. And it looks like they will also be taking this city here. And this will give Texas a border with the Iroquois, which they haven't sort of really had so far. And it will be an opportunity maybe for another war there. But yeah, we'll probably see Texas grab this. Another big chunk of land for them. They now have sort of complete access. I think they already did, but just even more control over the access to this bit of sea, even though they're the only ones that can build in it anyway. So it's not the biggest thing in the world. The Aztecs can't build anything there. This is going to be a much tougher siege, but I feel like they might have the numbers, or even if once they just start focusing their planes on that, I feel like that can get the job done. See, they've got a couple of great war bombers. It's mostly triplanes. I mean, this city here is out in the open, and they I mean, they're trying to siege this in a weird way that isn't going to work. So, good luck to them. Stalin is actually landing artillery in Denmark, and that is going to be painful for Belgium. The problem is this city will also be... Actually, they might take this here. Wouldn't doubt it just yet. Probably have to... It's going to be a few turns, and it's going to be a bit... If these artillery are firing over the sea, which is definitely plausible, then yeah, maybe Stalin is going to end up unifying Scandinavia, which is not what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting much from him between losing everything. And oh my goodness, the Huns are just trying everything to destroy all of Byzantium's units. Ethiopia are definitely keeping an eye on them. Look at all these planes. These are not going to be helping bomb Belgium. That would be what I wouldn't even say these planes could bomb Belgium. I imagine they're not too focused. They are clearly using their bombers on this city, and there's about to be a bit of a naval battle here. Some of these Great War Infantries might be caught out in the open, which will be interesting because they're not going to phase too well against privateers. Not an ideal situation to be fighting those units. Out in the sea. Okay, Korea, what do we do? What do we got? Okay, Vietnam definitely looks like they're about to launch sort of the final step here because they've got plenty of units now inside the Japanese islands. They'll be able to make use of this road. They've got planes really close by. They've now got more battleships, a ton of submarines too, which isn't ideal, but they're not ideal for sieging cities, but destroying naval units, they're really good. I mean, Japan doesn't have any left, but, you know, maybe in the future, a Korea or somebody, that could be really effective. So I won't discredit them for it just yet. Let's see how good Texas get on in just a second. It's the Inca first, and their turn takes surprisingly long. I mean, they are doing quite well. So, oh, now it's on to Brazil. How are you guys doing? I'm going to keep an eye on Samoa for that first nuke. I imagine it's still a while away. And obviously them having uranium is probably unlikely. They didn't have metal or steel. So it is possible that they just don't have any uranium. Let's see what the Inca are up to. I'm just interested. They've got a lot of stuff here. The problem is the Aztecs aren't coastal, which sort of makes Polynesia the only plausible target for the Incans. Could go over here to Samoa. I mean, if they were to take this island, that would be huge. But that's going to take a big conflict to get it. Maybe not worth it. I think the Incans will probably be waiting for their peace deal with Argentina to end. And they can go down there and finish it up. I imagine Brazil are sort of waiting for a similar thing. Not sure how long they are. I feel like they should be 10 turns, but sometimes they're 30 turns. I don't know if it changes with the game length or I'm just getting something mixed up. But either way, if it's late game, 30 turns, like that's a big blow because they obviously can't go to war probably for a long time. Okay, that is finally Austria coming to life. They're going to try and go after Byzantium. Not sure this is going to work for them, but it's going to be more pressure on Byzantium. And yeah, maybe with numbers they could get the job done. I mean, Attila's here. I mean, they don't have artillery. That's the big Austria are missing out on. They don't have planes. They have artillery. They don't have any navy. They are literally just land units. They're fairly old. But, you know, maybe if they throw enough in, they could take Constantinople, and that would be a pretty big pickup. I mean, it would make them instantly probably one of the next targets for Ethiopia, but I don't think Austria cares too much. This is pretty big. I mean, I just can't believe they didn't go after Belgium. I mean, maybe they wouldn't have fared too well. Belgium are still doing fine. They're not dying just yet. Ethiopia slowly getting over here. They've had problems in this region of the world so far in this game, so we'll give them some time off. It does look like the Huns will take this next turn, I imagine. If they keep using their planes. There's not really... this caravel won't be able to take it back once the Great War Infantries get in there and steal it away, and the Huns go before Babylon, so... should happen, and then they'll just be down to this city, and I imagine Attila will take that unless like India very quickly jumps in to get involved, which I don't see happening. And Attila is probably, I mean, it's unlikely because it's a random map, I believe, for resources. I didn't tick the box. You can have it so the resources are realistic, and maybe we should try that one time. But yeah, I mean, that makes like every tile here like have 30 oil. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, we could do that. I think the one thing is with that, it makes the luxuries look kind of gross. Like, there'll be, like, massive areas of just one type of luxury. I'm not sure how ideal that is for the AI, or just for how it looks. I mean, there's a lot of... some of that happens still here. There's a lot of sugar here, but... yeah, I don't know how nice it looks on the map. But either way, maybe. That would be cool. But yeah, the Huns, theoretically, now control all of the oil, or will control all of the oil. India There's only a few archaeologists here. It's very misleading. There is a trebuchet. That's a bit weird, but I'll let them off. Okay, how are Texas getting on? They've not really got into it on sieging this city just yet. They're more focused on Tenochtitlan, and that's going to be difficult. And defending this is going to be difficult. Luckily, those planes could probably one-shot, maybe two, these units that are embarked. So it's not going to be the most difficult of times for them. Probably going to be quite easy, in fact, for them to kill those units. Nothing to really worry about for them. How are things going elsewhere? How is everything? Okay, so Ethiopia are now launching this assault. This sort of started end of last turn. That's going to be big. If Ethiopia can take this, then it doesn't really change too much. Obviously, it's just a loss for Belgium. And obviously, it puts the Moors at a little bit more of a threat in the future. I mean, the Moors are relatively safe because all these cities are very far away from the coast. So getting here is still an issue for Ethiopia or anybody else. Even Mali would have difficulties making that crossing. The Moors have planes here, which Mali will be keeping an eye on. I'm still surprised Mali hasn't tried to drive the Moors out of Africa. And Byzantium get a peace deal with Attila. About time. And Austria will now be fighting this war basically alone. The Huns just announced a ton of people. Not really sure why. But also, Attila, for the second time, picked up the city of Akkad. And I think he'll be able to hold on to it this time. He's going to get a big chunk of this land. Yep, almost all of it. And that leaves one city left. If he uses planes, I imagine next couple of turns, we will see Babylon fall. And a very strong Huns is starting to emerge right in the center of the map of the old world. Right between Europe and Asia and Africa. Right in the middle. And that is going to make things incredibly interesting. I mean, look how many units they have here. This is ridiculous. So, yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, look, they have so many planes down here. And they have another 6 just sat here. So that's going to be very interesting. Ethiopia now has regular infantry. Another thing to note. Just keep checking Samoa. No, they still only have 2 planes. Australia now have planes. Interesting. They're still alive, though. How is everything going? Vietnam. Okay, I'm just going to see. What are Mongolia? Oh, India did finally settle up here. There you go. Mongolia might go after that. There won't be any way for India to protect it. It'll just be pretty simple. Although the mountains will make it difficult. Mongolia should be fine with that. They'll pick it up. And maybe it will help the tundra fill up a little bit quicker than it is at the moment. Okay, so the siege of Tokyo, yeah, is definitely about to begin. And this could be a very sad ending for Japan. Because it looks like Vietnam will get the job done. Kind of feel like Japan, you've got to kind of hope all of it goes. You don't want a little bit to be left behind as just a sad reminder. Just like the city of Kyoto there, just to be left behind as a reminder of what happened. You kind of want Vietnam now to just go all the way. If they use all 6 of these battleships they have down here, or 5 of them, sorry, they could do a lot more damage. They have another one here, but yeah, if they had more over here, this would be a heck of a lot easier than it is right now. I think, anyway. Did anything? Oh, Babylon v the Incans and Rhodesia v the Incans. That Kilwa v the Incans. None of those wars matter. Rhodesia is... It's good to see Rhodesia declaring a war, but nothing is going to happen. Actually, to be fair, it might happen. I didn't see this here. Maybe something will happen. It's very unlikely. I mean, the Incans don't have anything down here, so they may end up losing the southern tip of South America to Rhodesia, of all people. They've sent some more planes down here, which will obviously be very useful against the frigates. They're going to need to send their navy over here, which does now consist of a couple of battleships. Ah, that's bigger. Brazil has now declared war on the Inca, and in turn sent all of their units east. What are you doing? Australia v the Incans. Okay, things are getting heated now. Australia, this could be bad for the Incans. Polynesia piecing out with Australia as well. I think the Incans could be in trouble here, because Rhodesia is probably going to take this southern city. Okay, that's big. Texas, who are already at war with the Aztecs, now also at war with the Incans. It's not the end of the world, but I mean, if Texas just storms through the Aztecs here and takes everything, then the Incans are in big trouble. But I feel this is not the end of the world. Texas it's big, but it's not as big as you'd think it is. They are the 2 biggest powers, though, in North and South America, so we'll see how this pans out for them. How are Austria getting on? I think they're about to go in a minute, actually. We'll see. think Attila is... Yeah, Attila's been. The Moors piecing out with Brazil. They're like, nah, we ain't messing around with this anymore. See what's happened to the Incas. Brazil have managed to gather a huge team, obviously. I assume Brazil are going to be heading round here to the south. Like, I don't see why they would send more stuff. They just move stuff into the Atlantic, and their army all moved towards Rio. Maybe they're just willing to defend Rio, because the Incan military is not really present here, but could be. Could get over here pretty quickly. There is a road. Not the best of roads, but there is one. It's a bit awkward. They've got to go all the way around. They don't even have a road. Oh yeah, they have half a road. This area is going to be a real mess for them, trying to defend this. Not really sure what they're doing. Yeah, they're going to hold on to this city. They're just sort of overwhelming the Aztec capital, which means they'll probably take that. They're sort of struggling up here, though. Gatling guns, not the best siege weapons, I'm afraid. Kilwa, you're still alive. I don't know how this is possible. Oh, wow, now 7 planes for Burundi. Just making sure none of them are nukes. I don't know why I think they would be. But, you know, it's just nice to make sure. Just to get that little confidence boost that they're not going to take over the whole world just yet. I mean, it doesn't really matter for me who wins at this point. My pick is long dead. Prussia. It's hard to remember that Prussia was even in this game at this point. Like, what? I think this is episode 30? 29? 30? I don't know. Either way, it's hard to remember a Prussia even existing at this point. How is Ethiopia getting on? They might... I doubt they'll take this island this turn, but anything's possible. Nope, not going to happen. But that's going to be it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.